Welcome to Books in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Life After Google by George Gilder. Future pillars like cryptocurrency, blockchain, and Bitcoin are dissected in Life After Google by George Gilder. Google's worldview centers on massive amounts of data and advertising revenue, backed by a network of powerful servers. This is possible because Google has amassed a vast repository of data that represents the world as it is in digital form, beginning with the internet and expanding to include books, languages, maps, and even faces via facial recognition software. To do this, Google has amassed a vast store of data, a digital representation of the physical world, beginning with the internet and expanding to include books, languages, maps, and even faces through facial recognition software. To accomplish this, Google has amassed an unprecedented amount of data, creating a digital replica of the physical world that includes not only the internet but also books, languages, maps, and even faces thanks to facial recognition software. Google has amassed a vast repository of data, a digital representation of the physical world, to facilitate this goal, beginning with the internet and expanding to include books, languages, maps, and even faces through facial recognition software. Google has created an enormous database of information, a digital representation of, to facilitate this. To manage and facilitate the online infrastructure that all this data and advertising requires, Google has built a massive data center near the Dalles, Oregon. Because of this, Google was able to grow and offer more web services like Gmail and Google Docs, and it also set a new standard for technology companies. The more storage and processing power they can provide, the better. Virtual reality pioneer Jaron Lanier calls these massive data hubs siren servers, alluding to the Greek myth in which sailors were lured to their deaths by the seductive song of the siren bird women. To discuss and prepare to inform the world of the developing risks in the expanding field of artificial intelligence, some of the pioneers of the information age, including Google co-founder Larry Page, met in a secret gathering in Monterey Bay, California, in January 2017. The majority of those in attendance actually worked on AI research and development in Silicon Valley, so they can do the most good by spreading awareness and encouraging others to get involved. We need to investigate the development of mathematics to determine the veracity of these threats. The most pivotal points are that Kurt Gödel proved there is no such thing as a completely complete logical system, and that American universities should take a cue from the Thiel Foundation and embrace progress more enthusiastically than their counterparts elsewhere. Not all schools are as progressive as the Universidad Francisco Marroquin in Guatemala, which accepted Bitcoin payments in 2013 before any other university in the Americas. However, many American universities prefer to concentrate on reactive measures that ultimately impede development rather than promote it. Harvard has taken a number of steps in recent years to reduce its carbon footprint by shifting away from fossil fuels, but this approach teaches students only how to put a stop to problems rather than how to create new ones. Some schools care more about their own reputation than they do about teaching. George Washington University's tuition increased from $27,000 to nearly $60,000 during Stephen Trachtenberg's 20 years as president, despite no discernible rise in the quality of the university's education during that time. Some institutions are working to counteract these tendencies, which is encouraging. The Thiel Fellowship, established by the Thiel Foundation and named after its founder and successful entrepreneur, Peter Thiel, provides recipients with a one-time cash award of $100,000 to help them fund their own innovative projects. The 1517 Fund was established by Danielle Strachman and Mike Gibson to provide similar funding to Thiel Fellows and other startup founders their age. Austin Russell of Luminar, which produces laser radar chips necessary for autonomous vehicles, was awarded a Thiel Fellowship in 2013. Dropout Vitalik Buterin received the fellowship in 2014 to establish Ethereum, a blockchain platform. With the advent of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and blockchain technology, users' private information is no longer stored in a single, centralized location that could be the target of an attack. Bitcoin is a digital currency that verifies its authenticity with a cryptographic signature. Each new block contains a timestamp and digital signatures that attest to the most recent Bitcoin transaction. Mining generates this timestamp using the combined computing power of many nodes in the network. Every time a Bitcoin is created or transferred, a record of the transaction appears in the subsequent block. Since each block leaves its own fingerprint in subsequent blocks, it is possible to track a Bitcoin's history back to its inception. Because of this, the Bitcoin ledger is practically hack-proof, making every Bitcoin transaction extremely safe. Many people were skeptical of Australian computer scientist and entrepreneur Craig Stephen Wright's claim that he was Satoshi Nakamoto in 2016. Vitalik Buterin, 24, is the creator of Ethereum, a blockchain app platform that can securely handle and verify objects other than just cryptocurrency, including smart contracts. This is the most crucial information in the entire text. By providing these safe investment options, Ethereum has unleashed a flood of innovative entrepreneurship while evading onerous SEC regulations. Blockstack, founded by computer scientist Mani Bali, is creating a new platform for distributed blockchain applications. Blockstack provides an accessible network and an open-source blockchain app development platform, making it simple for both programmers and end users to enter the safe and reliable blockchain ecosystem. The production of hardware is on the rise again, which is helping to revitalize the cloud computing industry. Two of the most influential rules in computer science are Moore's Law and Bell's Law. Every 2 years, the cost-effectiveness of circuits halves, according to Moore's Law, while every 10 years, the price of processing power plummets, according to Bell's Law, leading to the creation of an entirely new computer architecture. Companies in Silicon Valley, such as NVIDIA and Bill Dally, are making the switch from hot or fast but energy-hungry chips to cool or slow but efficient ones, made possible by the availability of cheaper circuitry. When it comes to supporting their ever-expanding central servers, Google and other information behemoths are still stymied by the challenge of achieving cheaper and more powerful processing power. Golem, which was developed on the Ethereum blockchain, is a platform that allows users to rent out their idle computing power to others. This generates enormous processing power, reducing the need for costly and resource-intensive siren servers like Google, and making it possible for users to perform tasks like computer graphics rendering at much lower cost. Bitcoin is flawed as a potential replacement. To ensure economic stability, Isaac Newton introduced the gold standard in the 18th century. Gold has the highest corrosion resistance and the most stable value because its supply grows slowly over time. But governments have long since given up on it, opting instead to let markets determine currency values. Nakamoto pledged to alter this after the 2008 financial crisis, anticipating that Bitcoin would replace gold as the standard of value. To counteract the increase in computing power, he devised a mining algorithm that makes it more difficult to solve the algorithmic problem that generates blocks and the bitcoins they represent. The number of bitcoins that can be mined is halved every year, and Satoshi Nakamoto set the maximum supply at 21 million. Bitcoin is already a token of exchange, and a volatile one at that, so it can't become a standard, says economics blogger Mike Kendall. It is up to other cryptocurrencies to correct the remaining errors and advance the cryptocosm, providing an alternative to Google's complex and cumbersome infrastructure. Google has created a world in which personal privacy takes a backseat to the safety of a centralized data repository, but the company's hegemony may soon be challenged. Together, the cryptocosm and the blockchain have established a new standard for the protection of individual data and the conduct of online business by operating independently of the dominant and traditional systems. It has the potential to dismantle Google's complex and cumbersome systems while paving the way for innovation and technological leaps in a wide range of other areas.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries. And feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in and happy listening.